Welcome back to sunny old England and another Caddy video, where in this video we're going to add some modern day creature comforts to this van. Now, the idea behind the Caddy project is to have a reliable daily driver, because I've always loved how these things look when they're modified. And as an added bonus, it's significantly better on fuel than the S5. In order to build the perfect daily driver, there are a few must-haves, like Apple Carplay and a reversing camera. Now, this van did come with a set of aftermarket rear parking sensors. However, because the visibility out the back is non-existent, a rear view camera will come in handy. So let's start modernising this 15-year-old van. The previous owner had this Parrot Bluetooth system in, which I think they are absolutely naff, so that comes straight out. And annoyingly, it comes with all of this wiring, which is just unnecessary. So that immediately got deleted. And I realised how easy of an install this is going to be. I mean, you can literally pull the fascia off. It's on clips by hand, done. 4 bolts, which are T20s, 4 bolts come out. That pulls out, unplug 2 sets of cables, plug those cables in and refit. The tricky one is going to be getting this rear view camera down the length of the van and onto the back door somewhere. So let's get this on, then we'll take a look at the back. To remove the standard head unit, it is as simple as 4 Torx head screws. Then to disconnect the standard head unit, all you have to do is take off 1 radio connector and the main wiring loom. It is that simple. In the kit you get some instructions, obviously all your wiring, and then the unit itself. And I've opted for one with buttons, because what really annoys me is having the on-off switch and having like the logo for the on-off switch. When you turn it and it doesn't set right, sets my OCD right off. So I've opted for buttons for the volume up, volume down, and it's just a nice clean look. Also, there is nothing to the rear of this. On the new CarPlay unit, every plug literally has 1 matching connector, so all you have to do is find what fits where and plug it in. Right, so that's not meant to be on, but normally if that comes on, you can unplug probably this power cable. And it should go off. Now to screw it back in place, and that is the head unit done. So that is the CarPlay system installed, and the mic is up here. Probably the easiest CarPlay system I have ever installed. Now let's sort out the reverse camera. So I've come to Dean's house and he's going to help me do the reverse camera and also do the sun strip. And I love but hate coming here because of this thing. Now, it's not the reason why I got a Caddy, but it's definitely inspiration to how a Caddy can look, because it's just cool. It's just really cool. Ignore the rust and bits, but she's a workhorse, isn't she? She is indeed. However, we've got the same sun strip as Dean, but obviously not blue and not silver. We're going orange, and we're going to go orange for a reason, because that's going to be the almost accent colour and potentially a colour change to this build in the future. So just a little bit of appreciation for this right now and what this could be. Anyway, Dean's going to help me do the sun strip and the reverse camera, because he has a reverse camera on his Caddy just here. Now mine's slightly different, but same idea. So he's going to help me do that. So let's crack on with that. First things first, we need to wipe down the windscreen so we've got a good clean mounting surface to install this new sun strip. At the minute, driving this compared to driving cars, it feels like I'm driving with a panoramic sunroof, and it obviously doesn't have one, nor would I like it to. So the idea is not only to look pretty cool, but also to block out some of that light. Also, I know this is going to stand out and look pretty silly. I reckon it'll look silly because the van's very standard van right now, but I'm going to lower this van in a very up and coming video very shortly, and when it's low with wheels, I think it'll look, well, like that. Should we just
check this is wide enough.
That is not wide enough.
Okay. Did you tell him you wanted
Yeah, I said 1500. It is, that is. That's not. That's not wide enough.
Is it not?
No.
That's the same as you have in mine. Oh.
It's always something. Cars is meant to be so simple, right? Right, that's 130.
Yeah, that's
Well,
why.
it's not, it's 135.
That's why I said, because I needed it at least 15.
What does that measure to be? Compared to your... well, it's just under.
What, under 130?
It's about 134.
Yeah, so he hasn't cut it to 1500
No.
length then. Alright, well that's not scrap then, isn't it? I don't think I've got another scrap.
That's annoying. Ordered this off Etsy and ordered it to go 1500 mil across, but they haven't sent a 1500 mil. So I'm gonna have to email them again and see if they'll obviously send that out. Dean, when they did yours, they didn't ask for you to return this one though, did they? When you ordered when they sent you the wrong size before, they didn't ask you to return this one, did they?
I think that's this one.
Yeah.
I think this is the short one still.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit shorter than that.
Yeah, so there you go then. Because that's what turned up for me. I just messaged him and was like, it doesn't fit the windscreen. I was like, it needs to be 1500 long. And to be fair, he sent me another one.
That's annoying, but you win some, you lose some, so I'll get another bit ordered and I guess we go on to the reverse camera. First thing we need to do to get this camera installed is remove the rear light. This gives us more access to run the wires and know where we need to connect them. Oh, towards you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, push it out towards me.
So the idea is obviously reverse camera. Drill a hole through probably here, mount that on there, like so. And Bob is my uncle, and we have a reverse camera. Once Dean helps me figure out the wiring, because fun fact for you, I'm colourblind, so wiring is not my forte. Luckily for me, Dean has done this all before, so I left him to tackle the wiring because as far as that's concerned, I'm pretty useless.
Yeah, your black and blue from your reverse light will go into 86, which is the white one. Then the camera supply is that one, it's pin 30. So that will go, that blue one will go to your live on the camera.
Okay, which is the red?
Which will be the red, I should imagine.
Would have thought so.
Obviously the black's just an earth.
Yeah.
85, that's an earth as well, the black there.
So we would feed that black to that black?
We could feed that black to that black. So those are your 2-feed camera.
Okay.
That's your trigger, and then that will be your new 12 volt.
New live, yeah.
So that,
that's what we've got to feed from that,
yeah,
which
so
I've got,
we've got
cable for, so.
Yeah. So that's your battery, that's your black and blue for the reverse light.
Yeah.
And then that's your power cable.
Dean was figuring out the wiring. Again, like I said, he's done this before, and it was going so well until this happened.
No, so I'd say by the time you panelled that up, we won't see it.
Oh.
I think that's just fucked up right down in the wheel arch.
And that's going to rattle as well, isn't it?
Oh, that might be my fault.
Might be your fault. I wasn't holding it. After trying to fish it out for a little bit, we realised it was dead and gone, and luckily I bought a pack of 2. So, little update. We've got cameras in, panels back on, wires are down here, got the relay in, and Dean is still working hard, and I'm hardly working. So, what are you doing now? Connecting the power line?
Well, I'm trying to feed it through.
Okay. So I already had a power line that the previous person used for like a Bluetooth parrot system that I've already taken out, that I obviously mentioned earlier on in this video. So Dean's connecting to that to connect to the relay to give the camera a bit more juice, because apparently when you put these cameras in and you just feed them off the, was it a reverse light you feed them off?
Yeah.
So when you feed them off the reverse light, the power's not strong enough, so you need to give it a 12 volt all the way to the relay, and that essentially cleans up the picture. I'm gonna let Dean finish wiring, and yes, Dean is doing the work, and yes, I'm getting somebody else to do my jobs because I'm no good with wires. And he is, apparently.
Well, if your van goes up in flames, I won't be in it, so I don't care.
Oh yeah, I suppose I should have got you to sign a liability waiver.
Nah, it's all the scene.
I'll catch up with you guys once this is in, then we can test the camera out. Right, it's all done, all wired in. Let's see if we're successful. Yeah. I don't know what I'm. Oh.
The door's open,
Yeah, but it's also sideways.
rotate.
Yeah. Right, that is done. So Dean's just buttoning up the glove box. I need to put the step back on, cup holder back in, and if I show you over here, this is our relay and shrink taped all on there, or shrink wrap, whatever you want to call it, hidden behind the proper loom. And I do happen to have a relay down in the bottom of here somewhere where Dean may or may not have dropped it. Cannot confirm or deny, right?
Don't know what you're on about.
I'll let him off because I'm not confident that I would have had this rear view camera, reverse camera, working if it wasn't for him. So I'll let you off this once.
Next week.
Don't do it again, all right? Love you.
Yeah.
Something doesn't feel right with the Caddy. There's a lot of vibration. It's almost like a wheel's buckled. I don't know, but it feels like it's going like the whole car is just side to side when you go a bit slower. And it's not gearbox related. That was my first thought, it was gearbox related, but I put it in neutral like it is now, and it still does it. Literally the whole car's doing this. It's so weird. I've just got out and had a look because, ignore the squeaky brake. I've just got out and had a look because I know that it's not going to be wheel nuts and stuff like that, because I did talk to them properly, but again, you never know. All the wheel nuts are done up properly. There's no play in the wheel itself, and everything's on. It feels like it's that front passenger side. So I'm going to have to have a look at that later, because there's definitely more vibration. My phone on the mount on the windscreen is vibrating a lot more. I can feel the vibration as I'm driving down the motorway, and also the slow speeds. It just feels, oh, that's not good. Somebody's complete rear axle was just falling out their lorry. They've got worse issues than me. But it just feels like the whole car is just side to side. So I'm hoping it's something like buckled wheels, because I will be putting a new set of wheels on in the next video. But I've got to figure it out because I've got to drive it until then. So yeah, hopefully it's wheel based. I might have to go down the tyre shop and see what's what. So we have an update on the Caddy, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but the whole phone is shaking side to side. You're on my iPhone at the minute, so hopefully the audio's alright. But the phone is just shaking like mad, as is the steering wheel. The steering wheel's not too bad at this speed, but I can feel vibration and I can feel some form of feedback, like the car's trying to do micro movements on its own. So the only thing I can put that down to is alignment, I think, because when I'm going slower it is still that side to side movement, and this sort of speed is just vibration. So I don't think it's anything gearbox related. When I put it into neutral and when I rev and stuff like that, it's all still there, so I don't think it's gearbox related. It must be alignment related. Another thing that backs that theory up is the steering wheel is significantly on the piss, and it was slightly off centre when I put the steering wheel back on. Maybe I didn't put it back on straight. I did think I aligned the centre dot up on both the steering wheel and the column. Maybe it's just out of alignment anyway, and it's got significantly worse, I don't know, but that thing is massively on the piss. So I booked it in for Tyre Warehouse on Wednesday. Today is currently Monday, so I've got 2 days of this where I need to basically put up the vibration, and hopefully the forward alignment will get this thing sorted. So I'll give you guys an update as and when on Wednesday. So that is the van all booked in at Brackley Tyre Warehouse. So they're going to do the wheel alignment, check things over, and hopefully they sort out this vibration issue. Also, they're putting 2 new tyres on my alloys and balancing all 4. So new wheels will be going on as soon as possible. I do need to get spigot rings for it because the alloys aren't the right centre bore, but they're being delivered today. So that's on its way. So annoyingly, I lost the footage at the end of this video, so I'm going to have to do a bit of a impromptu outro. But basically what I said is the tyre that's down there was on the front of the van, and that had egged itself. So it was nothing to do with the alignment at all. The tyre there was basically just destroyed, and I don't know how, but it managed to egg itself over like a course of 2 or 3 days. But the van is now on the wheels, and it's also lowered on coilovers, which you guys are going to see in the next video. So make sure you come back for that. If you liked anything in this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video where we start the race van build with coilovers and wheels.